I had a bunch of trees in my yard removed because they were dying and like rotting. And these people destroyed my yard. It's as though I paid for a tree removal and lawn destruction service. Like so like yeah, and they're the best in biz, let me tell you. Because they basically in my backyard, I live in a wooded area, tons of trees.
We really focus mostly on the yard destruction.
we focus mostly on ruining your yard.
Is your backyard nice?
My backyard is way less nice than it was after they wrecked it. It's my front yard that I'm pissed about.
The grass. Is it grass or weeds cut to the same height?
No, it was grass. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
I said was grass. Yeah. So basically it was 6 trees that I needed removed in my backyard because they were all either dying or rotted or just like looming over my house and making me anxious. And so I figured, just let's rip the Band-Aid off because trees are expensive. All 6 of them down. I'll either have to do
how much
it. Yes, you can, and I'll surprise you with it. All right, and
you want me to guess now, or
yes, guess now.
6 trees.
Yep.
Like big trees. Like
the smallest of them were probably that big around.
Did he go? Did he have to go up and climb the trees with a chainsaw?
Oh yeah, on all 6 of them.
Dude, did that cost you $3,000?
Cost me $4,900.
Okay.
That's rough.
And I guess it's more expensive sometimes. Like they charge you more depending on how much it's like how close it is to your house or whatever. It's a couple of them were like right.
It was $800 for me for one. So I was hoping you got the like bulk discount.
Dude, that was the bulk discount.
Holy shit, that's the math. $4,800.
Yeah, that was the big, because the guy like this is the one part that was decent is when I was calling around about it in my head I'm like fuck it, it's gonna be $10,000. And when I called him in December, the dude was like, yeah, nobody gets trees removed in December, so I'm just trying to keep my crews working, because so here you'll get a super cheap price. And I was like, all right, that works for me. And they come and they start removing the trees. He tells me it's going to be a 1-day process. I'm no genius, but I was even in the moment like, what do you bring in like 50 people to my house to like just like all at once? Like you're like, no, this is going to take longer than that. And so he comes on like a Thursday a few weeks ago, and they start doing their shit. And the next day was obviously Friday. They come back to start again. And all they did the first time was really kind of get set up and like tie stuff around the trees, like to kind of like look at the leverage points and whatnot. Then nothing had started. And that Friday I was leaving town to go to my grandparents. And so as I'm leaving, there's like getting a bunch of work done, like sawing the trees and everything. And I'm already noticing like my yard looks like shit. Like they drove through it with the, so my yard, you know how there's a straight line from the road through your side yard for every house in existence. You know how you could, if you want to walk from the front left portion to the backyard of a house, you would walk straight past the back left side of the house, just straight. If you wanted to walk past the right back side of a house. What they did is they set up their machine and drove across my yard. Their machine started on the left side of my house and then ambled up next to my goddamn mailbox.
And this is like a private company. It's not like from the city or anything like that.
This is supposedly a decent company. Bro. They drove across my entire yard in wet weather. And then I guess they didn't like that route. And in that route, they destroyed a swath 8 feet by the entire length of the entire yard. That's mud destroyed. And then I guess that approach wasn't working because while I was I know. And while I was out of town, I guess they didn't like that route on day 2 for Saturday, because the next day they took it right to the right side of my house and they drove a whole new path through my yard, and they didn't put boards down, and it was wet. And I got home Sunday and I laughed when I saw my house. I went,
as would I.
Because they've destroyed my yard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Destroyed.
That's a
it's
crazy,
raining all the time.
crazy thing
There's
to do.
Let me ask you this.
Let me real quick. When I got back on Sunday, I'm getting back from my grandparents' house. I just wanted to relax and play Age of Empires 2 all day. I'm full of steak. I've got some other steak she sent me home with. I just want to play Age of Empires 2 and get stoned and eat more steak. And I try and log on to the internet, I have no internet. These guys
now we
dug
got
so
problems.
deep into my yard without the board, with the tracks on their machine, that they physically severed my internet line. It didn't unplug it. It didn't misalign it. They drove so deep through my yard, they severed my fucking internet line.
That's fucking crazy.
And
Honestly,
these
I would
fucking
I would
cunts-
fucking eat their
Oh,
children. Praise be
Dude,
to Allah.
this guy, they praise be to Allah.
Fucking
These
love me,
guys,
fucking
they came back yesterday because the guy told, I knew something was amiss because on the Friday after I left,
Something's
a
amiss.
lady from the company
You're like
called me
lawns torn
and
up.
was
You're like,
like,
something's amiss.
hey, there's a bunch of stuff with your yard. We're gonna take care of it. And I was like, at my grandparents. And I'm like, okay, so it's even worse than it was when I left. They came back yesterday. The owner or manager of the company, he wasn't there yesterday. I wonder fucking why. I wonder why he didn't want to fucking talk to me. And he sends his like goons, the workers, and they throw down some straw haphazardly. And then they come to my front door and he's like wanting me to inspect it and like pay him $5,000. And I was like, I get it. Like, you guys are just doing your job, but this is in like, and I always keep it like calm. Like, I'm not someone to like freak out.
Sure,
And,
you can't. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, you
always
don't
very
wanna-
calm about that stuff. And I
yeah.
was like, honestly, like, this is unacceptable. I know all the four of you guys here. If you guys, if you at your home hired someone to remove a tree and they did this to your yard, I can't imagine what you guys would be thinking. And that's what I'm thinking right now. So
Bro, that's
if you need to tell your
$5,000 of
boss,
damage.
you know, and I told him, I'm like, I'm not going to give you guys a dime until my yard is returned to the way it was before, because this is absurd. I'm going to be getting fines from my HOA.
no.
Like, do you have any idea how horrid this is?
You're
what
like,
you guys
Elon
have
Musk
done?
is trying to ruin my life.
Oh
If
my
my
God.
mom
Elon Musk is trying to
pristine,
ruin my
he will
life.
fucking
Yeah.
kill me.
And so my yard, I can send you a photo after the show. My
wanna see
yard
it.
is fucking destroyed, ruined. It took me so
Oh,
long
no.
to get grass growing well in my yard
I
because
know,
the
yeah.
previous owners treated the yard like shit. And so I had to like reseed so many times, and I took
Bro,
the aerator out
now
there
that
for
I
so
have
many
a
times.
house, I
Oh, you took the
understand
aerator?
this.
Yo, no, this is years
I
ago when I had to
understand. Oh,
originally
but
get the
grass?
yard going.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now that I
worked
have a
hard.
house, like I understand. I had a water ban
Fucking
this past
pissed.
summer, so we
A
couldn't you couldn't water. You can't
ban.
use water, and like so, I would stand out there and like literally be like, "This is money. The grass is money. I know that now because I bought it, and this is money, and I need to use my sprinklers, but I can't."
Yeah.
And like my neighbor across the street didn't give a fuck about the water ban. And I did sit there like looking through the blinds and I was like, if I was a little bit angrier with my life, I would snitch on you. I
Let me ask you a
understand why
question.
some neighbors do shit like that. I'm like looking out the window. I'm like, he's not allowed to be watering the lawn right now.
Dude,
But he's
why don't
fucking
you just
doing
water
it.
it?
I
Shut that
respect
down.
him.
Why don't like what would they do if you just had a tank of water? And if anyone asked, you'd be like, "Oh no, that's from that tank of water." Well, where do you get the water that goes in there? No, I truck that in.
It's rainwater.
That's
You
rainwater.
could do that. I understand. This is like an advanced,
But-
lie. Like I understand. I kind of like that strategy.
You don't
of
use
it.
that water to water your lawn.
No, I understand. I understand.
You just
It's gonna
have a tank
come.
of water that
Then they
always
come, they're
stays
like, I have a
not
tank of
half
water.
full.
No, like I literally, like,
Evaporational, like
no,
take
you're
care
right.
of.
But you know what you're right about is that you could pay like if you were like really didn't give a fuck about money, you could pay to have like a water company come and literally
Yeah.
do it because they're allowed because they're bringing water from elsewhere. Water is
they'll
heavy,
No,
all that.
My
But
water,
if I paid instead of paying that, if I just paid a truck to come by every day and refill my water, and
That's
it
what
was
my
like just
company
my
does.
buddy in a truck. Yeah.
that's what my company does. We have a water truck that's fucking empty. Right? We drive it around and charge you half of what the actual water truck costs. We don't do
Good.
fuck all, and then you just hook your hose up to your spigot and let her have it, boy.
What did you just say?
You heard me.
Look your hose up
Spigot.
to the spigot.
Oh.
Y'all
Is
don't have
spigot
spigots
not a
up there?
Canadian?
Yeah, we don't. I don't think you're allowed to say that word.
Spigot?
What? It sounds
Spigot.
weird when you say it. I don't like.
Does
that.
it?
I don't
It's-
know if you're allowed to say it like.
G.
I don't know if
It's
you're allowed to
it
say
is
it
a
like
G.
that.
Spigot.
SPIGOT, right?
SBI, either GOT or double GOT.
I don't think you
Yeah,
can even say
double
I haven't read it
GGOT.
since,
You can't
like,
say
Little House on the-
GGOT, by the way.
I
You can say
I-
GGOT. You're being
I
a real
don't think you
GGOT
can.
right now.
I don't think I've read that since like Little House on the Prairie, right?
Oh, it's 1G.
Spigot.
Damn, trying to double
Spigot. Just
second guess
1G?
myself. It's
Holy
1G.
shit! I've never, ever, ever in my entire life found a word Taylor can't spell till just now.
He just did. No, he had it right from the beginning. I was the
He
one who
had
thought it might have two Gs.
GGOT. Oh,
I
we
said
need to
1G.
replay the tape.
I said
think Taylor-
1G. I did get that one until I thought Kyle was right with the 2Gs, but that was
I was asking.
but I was
like,
thinking of
couldn't remember.
Spriggans.
I
from
think of
Skyrim.
myself as a very good speller, and I actually wasn't sure about Spigot, how to spell it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read it since.
some
like,
people
if,
say
just if
it's-
it makes you feel good, Woody, like I fucked up on Spigot.
Yeah.
So
People often say
Oh,
spigot, so
everyone
it doesn't
else
sound like a
spells
G
me.
sound.
Yeah,
no, a spigot
I
is
just
something else.
asked Taylor for help.